1 Corinthians 12 tells us that the ideal is for every person to be fully included and fully participating, because God has given each person a place in the body of Christ and a gift to use for his glory. As we learned earlier, people with disabilities and parents of children with disabilities often do not feel welcome or included at church, at school, or in the community. What would help them feel welcome? People with disabilities who said they felt welcome at a church said it was because the people greeted them, talked with them, and were willing to learn how to help. That doesn't seem too complicated. Greet people, then actually have a conversation with them. Listen and learn. Ask if there are any accommodations they need. See if you can help provide those accommodations. What is an accommodation? It's a change that helps the person with a disability do what they need to do. Some common accommodations are a ramp to get into a building for someone in a wheelchair, a sign language interpreter for someone who is deaf or hard of hearing, large print programs for people with visual impairment, and visual schedules and directions for people with cognitive disabilities or processing issues. Sometimes we can get carried away with wanting to help, and help more than is needed or more than is respectful. One thing well-meaning people sometimes do with people with disabilities is treat them like children or like they are incapable of making decisions for themselves. It's not always intentional, but it's still a problem. For example, Itzhak Perlman is probably the best violinist in the world. He also has a club foot. Sometimes in airports, he asks for a wheelchair. He said when he is standing up, people speak to him directly. But if he's sitting in the wheelchair, people talk to whomever is pushing the chair as if he cannot answer for himself. Have you ever heard of ableism? Ableism defines people by their disability, not their ability. It considers people with disabilities as inferior to people without disabilities. It assumes people with disabilities need to be fixed before they can be full members of society. Do you remember what it said on the gate at Thika? Disability is not inability. How we think about people affects how we talk about people. How we talk about people affects how we treat people. The words we use matter. When speaking about someone with a disability, use person-first language. What does that mean? It means put the person, not their disability, first. So instead of saying an autistic person, say a person with autism. Or instead of saying a Down child, say a child with Down syndrome. Put the person first because the person is more than their disability. The disability is only one thing about them. Also, never use demeaning words, either for a person with a disability or for anyone else. For example, what we now call cognitive or intellectual disability used to be called by the medical term mental retardation. People took the medical word, shortened it, and turned it into an insult. Don't use it. It's hurtful. What will you do to include people with disabilities, at school, in the community, and at the core? For example, when making plans, think about people with disabilities first. Ask yourself, who will be excluded by this activity? How can we include them? Remember the 1 Corinthians 12 ideal. Everyone is included and given the chance to participate fully and to use their gifts for the glory of God and encouragement of the church. When we are together, at school, in the community, or at church, it is better for all of us.